There is no virtue in poverty itself, but wealth, left to itself, is certainly no guarantee of contentment.
Mr. Hill, it's a true honor to have this conversation. Your book, Think and Grow Rich, it's more than a book, it's a global phenomenon. Even after all these years, people are still dissecting it, still debating it.
I'm grateful it has been of service, Dr. Sinclair. The principles of success, they don't have an expiration date, because they are founded on the nature of man.
Exactly. And for most people, perhaps the most prominent aspect of your philosophy is its focus on wealth and financial achievement. You're known for the idea that anyone with enough focus and desire can achieve financial independence. Could you unpack that core principle for us? This idea that a thought can be transmuted into a financial empire, where does it begin?
It begins with a very simple truth. Everything, absolutely everything, is created twice. First in the mind, and then in reality. A chair, before its wood is ever cut, is an idea in the mind of a craftsman. A skyscraper, before the first shovel hits the ground, is a blueprint and a dream in the mind of an architect. Wealth is no different.
So the starting point is the thought itself.
Yes, but not just any thought, not a fleeting wish. It must be a burning desire, a positive obsession. When you fix your mind upon a definite financial purpose, and you fertilize that purpose with intense emotion and faith, your mind simply operates differently. Your subconscious is put to work, searching for opportunities, ideas, and pathways that you would normally overlook. This isn't magic. It is a very specific psychological process. You are, in effect, giving your mind its marching orders, and it is an exceptionally loyal soldier. The goal is to break free from the chains of poverty and limitation so that we may realize our full potential.
It's an incredibly powerful idea. And it makes perfect sense that focus creates results. But that's where a question arises for me. A question that perhaps belongs more to our modern world.
I'm eager to hear it.
Mr. Hill, modern positive psychology has shown time and again that after a certain income level, one that covers our basic needs like food, shelter, and safety, more money has a surprisingly small effect on our day-to-day happiness. The curve flattens. My question is, does an intense focus on wealth, as it's popularly understood from your work, does it risk distracting us from the things that truly matter? Deep relationships, mental health, a sense of meaning. Isn't that a dangerous trap, leading us toward a hollow victory?
That is an extraordinary question. Perhaps the most important question anyone on the path to success must eventually ask themselves. To answer it, I believe I need to tell you the story of a very, very wealthy man, a man who achieved all of his financial goals and in the end lost everything that mattered.
I'm waiting with bated breath. In fact, that's my core question. In your extensive research, did you encounter people like that? Individuals who reached the absolute pinnacle of wealth, but lived in valleys of despair? What was the lesson they had to teach?
Oh, yes. Far too many, I'm afraid. But one case stands out above all others. It's a perfect case study in modern tragedy. You've, of course, heard the name Howard Hughes.
Of course, Howard Hughes. The man was a legend, an aviator, a filmmaker, an engineer. a self-made billionaire at a time when that word had a different weight. He was the very embodiment of American ambition and genius.
Precisely. You chose the right word. A legend. The man could acquire anything that money could buy. Any car, any home, any company. He had political influence. He ran movie studios. He broke airspeed records. From the outside, he was the perfect fulfillment of the philosophy of success. A man with a definite aim, pursued with a burning desire, who achieved his goal. In today's money, his wealth was in the billions, incomprehensible.
Then he should have been the happiest man on earth.
He should have been, but he was not. The story of Howard Hughes is a tale of two lives. The life the public saw, full of glamour and achievement, and the inner life which slowly devolved into a private hell. As his fortune grew, so did his fears.
What kind of fears?
The fear of germs, the fear of people, the fear of betrayal, the fear of being judged. Little by little, these fears calcified into a crippling obsession. He began to retreat from the world, first from his business partners, then from his friends, and eventually from any human contact whatsoever. He spent the final years of his life as a recluse in a luxury hotel penthouse, alone. No one was allowed to approach him without undergoing complex sanitation rituals. The curtains were always drawn. His only connection to the world was the telephone.
That's unbelievable. The man who could go anywhere in the world imprisoned himself in a single room.
Exactly. That is the paradox. He possessed all the tools of freedom, but he was a slave to his own mind. The man who was once a symbol of power had withered into a phantom, emaciated, weak, with overgrown hair and nails, lying on a bed surrounded by a fortune that could buy him no pleasure. When he passed away, he was so alone and unrecognizable that they had to use fingerprints to identify his body. Howard Hughes, at the peak of his wealth, died in a state of absolute poverty, a poverty of connection, a poverty of peace, a poverty of sanity, and a poverty of happiness.
That is a tragedy in the truest sense of the word. The story is bone-chilling. So where did he go wrong? I mean, he used your principles. He had a definite purpose, a burning desire, he had persistence, and he achieved his financial goal. Where did he take the wrong turn?
Your question strikes at the very heart of the matter. His mistake, the mistake so many others make, was in confusing the means with the end. He made financial wealth the ultimate goal, when in reality, it is only ever a tool.
A tool? For what?
To purchase freedom. That is the only true and lasting value of money. Freedom. The freedom from the paralyzing fear of poverty. The freedom to do the work you love, not the work you are forced to do. The freedom to help others and to share in the betterment of the world. The freedom to have time to spend on what truly matters. Mr. Hughes acquired the money, but in the process, he sold all of his freedoms. He became a slave to the very thing that was meant to set him free. The problem wasn't that he got rich. The problem was that he only got rich.
He only got rich. That's a striking phrase.
In my research, I wasn't just looking for the secrets to acquiring wealth. I was searching for the secrets to a rich and successful life. And I discovered that true riches have 12 facets, like a diamond that shines from many angles. Financial wealth is only one of them.
12 riches. Could you elaborate on that?
Certainly. These are the things that constitute a truly rich life. First, a positive mental attitude. Second, sound physical health. Third, harmony in human relationships. Fourth,
freedom from fear. 5th, the hope of achievement. 6th, the capacity for faith. 7th, the willingness to share one's blessings. 8th, to be engaged in a labor of love. 9th, an open mind on all subjects. 10th, complete self-discipline. 11th, the wisdom to understand people. And finally, in the 12th position, financial security.
12th. The last one.
The last one. And that, Dr. Sinclair, is the answer to your question. That is the aha moment. Howard Hughes, with all his genius and power, spent his entire life acquiring the 12th treasure, and in doing so, he ignored and ultimately destroyed the other 11. He traded his positive mental attitude for fear. He sacrificed his physical health. He severed his human relationships. He emptied himself of love, faith, and hope. And in the end, with the mountain of the 12th treasure, he was the poorest man in the world in the 11 that truly sustain life. So yes, a singular focus on money is a dangerous trap, because it leads you to build a magnificent mansion on a foundation of quicksand, a house that sooner or later is destined to collapse.
Mr. Hill, it's astonishing. It's as if you're not describing the past, but diagnosing the sickness of our current age. You speak of Howard Hughes, a single man from a different era. But today, we are dealing with a mass-produced version of his tragedy.
What do you mean?
These social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, you've never seen them, but they do to the public what Howard Hughes's mind did to him. They are an endless, curated showcase of the 12th riches. Luxury cars, dream houses, exotic vacations, a non-stop highlight reel of seemingly perfect lives.
So these new tools, they focus the world's attention on only one facet of the diamond.
Exactly. And in doing so, they trigger a dangerous psychological mechanism we call social comparison. We are constantly measuring the messy, behind-the-scenes reality of our own lives against the polished public performance of others. And what's the result? Anxiety, envy, a chronic feeling of inadequacy. We feel like we're falling behind. And that gives rise to another phenomenon we call hustle culture. The belief that you must grind relentlessly, sacrifice your well-being, and most importantly, display the material results of that grind for everyone to see. It's as if everyone is in a frantic public race to acquire the 12th rich.
And they trample the other 11 riches underfoot in the process.
Yes, harmony in human relations, rich number 3, becomes shallow competition. Sound physical and mental health, rich number 2, is sacrificed for longer hours. Freedom from fear, rich number 4, is replaced by a constant fear of being left behind. The labor of love, rich number 8, becomes a joyless means to a financial end. We are raising millions of mini Howard Hugheses, people who may be financially successful but are inwardly impoverished, anxious, and lonely. The problem isn't money. It's that we have crowned money as the new god, the sole arbitrator of a person's worth. Your analysis proves this isn't a new problem. Only the tools for spreading the disease are new.
The tools are always changing, Dr. Sinclair. The newspaper, the radio, the television, and now your platforms. But human nature, our fears and our hopes, that remains constant. The traps are always the same, they just become more alluring.
This framework, the 12 riches, it's a stunningly relevant roadmap for today. But as you said, the traps are more alluring. The social pressure is immense. So what can the average person do? What's a tangible first step someone can take today to begin recalibrating their inner compass?
I propose a simple practice. I call it happiness budgeting.
We create budgets for our money, our time, our business projects, correct?
Yes, of course.
Very well. I want you to consciously budget for your happiness. Each month, take a very small portion of your income, or even just an hour of your time, and instead of buying another object, consciously invest it in one of two things, only two.
And what are they?
First, invest in an experience. A dinner with someone you love, with all phones turned off. A day trip to a nearby town you've never seen. Learning a new skill you've always been curious about. Unlike objects, experiences grow within you. They become a part of who you are. And second, invest in giving. It need not be a grand gesture. Buy a coffee for a stranger. Make a small, anonymous donation to a cause you believe in. Devote 1 hour of your time to truly listening to a friend who is lonely. Do this, and then simply notice how you feel. Observe what shifts inside of you. This simple exercise will remind your mind where true wealth comes from.
So when it's all said and done, it seems money is like blood in the body. Its absence makes you sick and weak, and its presence is vital for life. But no one lives for the sake of having blood. Blood is the means that allows the heart, the mind, and the soul to do their work, to love, to create, and to truly live.